Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the sawmill. Thought I'd do a little introduction here. We're going to be sawing up some little cherries using the Fred clamp. Hope you enjoy. Thanks. Well, got a little bit of, these cherry sticks to deal with today. We'll snug up the saw blade. Fire up the saw, get these little buggers turned into something. Make sure the lubricant's going. See what the height is. Just trying to get a flat surface to start with. Turn on the debarker, that might help. There's a little bit of dirt on there. There we go. Definitely don't want to hit the back top. Missed a little bit there. You hear that debarker really grab when there's a knob sticking out there. Get to the end. Try and get rid of this slab. Hopefully the little remote audio works pretty good. You can hear what I'm saying, hopefully. Let's bring that head back. See, with the LT40, you got to bring the head back so you can power up the hydraulics. That way you can flip the log around. Flatten out this side. Got my little Fred log clamp on there today. Works pretty good. I'll give you an up close of that here in a little bit. Customer of mine, Fred, he made that up for me. I told him I needed something like that, and he was nice enough to do that. Bring in that debarker. Not going to hit any backstops. See how that debarker hangs up sometimes when there's a knot going the wrong way. There we go, we got two flat sides. If I don't break my neck. Alright, well, give you a shot from a different direction here in a minute. let's turn this bugger up. I'm just doing this manually because with these little logs, it's a little easier. You don't have to have the log flipper throw it clear off the mill or anything like that. Try and get it kind of square. Might bring this end up just a little bit. Get the old Fred clamp going there. Sometimes we lose a little bit of conductivity there with the hear that clicking. There's a copper strip because the battery rides with the head, and to send power over here to the hydraulics, that copper strip makes contact and sends the juice to the hydraulic pumps. See how square we are? Excuse me. We can come down just a tick. With the old Fred clamp. Come on. That looks almost close. A lot of messing around with these little logs. That's not so bad right there. Bring the head down. Make sure I'm not going to hit anything. I can check with my green line. Looks pretty decent. We got 3 relatively flat sides. Pressure on the blade. Pretty happy with that. Just plow on through. There we go. Now I've got 3 flat sides. The customer, he wanted to keep one live edge, which is, you know, it gives him versatility with what he's doing with his projects. Gives him kind of a straight edge to get 2 straight edges if he needs 2 straight edges. So we'll slide this out, flop her down. Make sure we got a decent place for clamping. We're flat all the way around. There's not a chunk of anything underneath it. And then we'll just cut that into 4/4 boards. You hear that? The contact ain't that. It's kind of fighting me. Sometimes if I move the head ahead or pull it back, it'll Get a clean spot on that contact strip. Obviously, it doesn't always. Oh, can't get old Fred to take a bite. Tough spot there. Maybe if I slide the log back a little bit, there's a little bit more meat there for it to bite. Right below this knot. That might work better. Get a little better bite. Come on, Fred. Get a bite. I think I got a hold of it. There's a lot of torque as the blade's pulling through, so you want to make sure you're good and tight, and that your clamp is low enough so you can make your last cut. Alright, let's get this little bugger where it belongs. Try 4/4 right there. Four or five boards out of this guy. When I'm doing live edge, I don't use the debarker mainly because it does cut a trough. So if a person is wanting to use that live edge, it doesn't have big old gouges. Yeah, it sacrifices the blade a little bit if there's dirt, but it's better for the customer if they're really trying to save that neat looking live edge. See the pressure gauge. That's one of the things I really watch. Make sure my blade tension is good. This Chariot, it saws really nice. Smells good. Next to white oak, it's one of my favorite smelling woods to saw. See, there was some dirt right there. It's a little hard on the blade. Rocks are the biggest problem. Sometimes rocks get stuck in the bark, you know, people flopping them around on the gravel. If you ever notice out where I buck up my logs or get my logs ready to saw, I've got wood chips. And that way, my logs are laying in wood chips and not gravel. Works pretty good. I get my wood chipped from the local sawmill. They're a high production sawmill, so they don't want to mess with stuff like this. They stick to one species. That's their specialty. And they don't mess around. They get a lot of footage a day done. They don't want to mess with trailer decks or anything like that. So I build a pretty good relationship with them. They get a call for trailer deck or boards like that. They just give them my number and I take care of them. So it pays to build relationships with your local sawmills. A lot of times, if I got shorter logs, I'll throw up my manual stops just to get it up here, make sure it doesn't fly off. I've done that before. With a big log, I've accidentally flipped one all the way off to the back there. It's not a good thing. It's kind of tough to get it out of there sometimes. So we'll use the log loader built in here. Throw her up. Actually, I don't like the way that's laying there. So we'll give her a spin. That doesn't look too bad. Gives me kind of a decent flat spot. Sometimes I'll use my green line here to shoot a line just to see where I'm at. Probably can't see that too well on the camera. There you go. Makes it kind of flat. There's a little low spot there, but I think I want to actually move that log to the west a little bit. And there is what I think we'll do. Looks like it'll be a challenge, but we'll get her done. That way it's sitting on this front bunk. Well, I'm gonna have to get out log turner and see if I can shove it forward. Probably can't see what I'm doing, but biggest problem is that end down there catches on the bunk, can't get it up over it. It's where sometimes it's handy to have more than one person, but I typically can figure out a way to get things done the way I want it done without calling for help or, ask the wife to come out here and do something. This is actually kind of my little paradise out here, so if I'm out here by myself, I enjoy it. And I'm sure that a lot of you would probably say the same thing. Not that we don't like people, but we like to do things by ourselves. It's a good challenge. Looking at that log, maybe I want it to turn the other way. So we'll get the old log roller out. That looks pretty good there, I think. See if it'll stay. You can see there's kind of a low spot in the middle. Hopefully old Fred's got a bite on her. Of course not. But that's the way it works. So we'll flip her up again and see if we get her to stay this time. Maybe we'll hyperextend it just a little bit. There. Now we can manipulate things. Sometimes with each log, because you know they're all unique, you know, a little bend to them or something, and you're trying to get the nicest looking cuts out of them. Sometimes you gotta fart around with them for a while. Get them the way you want them to lay. Sometimes that takes longer than actually cutting the dang thing. There. I kind of like that. I'm going to have to move you back though because you're standing in the way of the saw head. So I'll move you around. There, I'll give you a little different look at it. After walking around and eyeballing it, I think I want to bring that east end up just a little bit, the butt of the log. Level it out a little bit. That looks pretty good right there. Let's try that. Better turn the blower on. You know what happens when you don't do that. End up with a mess. You hear that soft start using the phase converter over there. That's how I develop three-phase power for that 25 horse on top. Let's dig in with it. Trying to take off these high spots so we get a nice flat side. I noticed there was a little fracture there at the end of the log, the butt end of the log. Okay, we can work around that. Don't make too big a mess. Nice flat spot. Give her the flip. Always want to remember to lower your tool boards there. Just looking at that, got a high spot there in the middle on the bunk. get that pretty flat if I was able to push that log a little further this way to the west, and then it could get on this toe board here and we could raise that up. That would be a better deal. Okay, it's not going to take a whole lot to get up there, but there we go. I think that's enough. Like I say, most of the messing around with a log is just getting it where you want it. Let's bring the green line down and see where we're at. Kind of like that. Big old thread in there. Trying to get it square against the stops. I might have said this before, but I like to take a little short level there, check and see, because a lot of times, especially with these little logs, you know, you'll see guys flip a log, slam them against the stops, and well, these stops, what are it? There's 6,300 hours on this mill. So those stops, they've been slammed and beat and everything for quite a few years. So they might not be as true, and I have tried to square them up. But they could be a little worn, and that way I can't really trust them for being square. So I like to double check myself, and I'm not quite there yet. It's a little over square, so I'm able to I got thread dug in there good. I can pull down on the clamp and it kind of rolls that log back toward you, and that'll square it up. Actually, I over squared, so I need to come up just a tick. Right there. There's a lot of farting around the guy's got to do. There. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with the position. Let's get a little cut here. You notice my green line, I keep it about a 1/4 inch low. And that just buys me a little bit more room for safety. It buys me that 1/4 inch room to keep me from cutting the stops or the clamp. Pretty decent flat spot. See how it stopped there for a second? That debarker kind of got jammed in there because the elevation of the log changed. And, this gets kind of funky, it gets jammed in there. Not the end of the world, you just gotta keep an eye on it as you go. We'll have a bunch of little slabs when we're all said and done. There. That came out pretty good. Bring her on back. And then we'll flip her up and get us to the third side and start cutting. I'll bring you around the back side here and show you. See, I'll be making my cuts going from top down, but this is where the log clamp is best. And I can't raise these up because I'll eventually get into them. And the best bite I've got is right there where that little nub comes up. And I got lucky, it'll catch here too. So we'll dig old Fred in there and get this log clamped. We'll give you a shot from this end. That way you can kind of see what I'm seeing. Takes it a minute for the saw to get up to steam, but that's part of the soft start. It's actually more efficient that way. We'll bring that back and we'll take a little bit more off there. See if we get ourselves where we want to be. Okay, scale. I should have looked at that before I got myself on scale. I was about a 1/4 inch off. Now we're on the 4/4 scale. The blade must be getting a little forward because I'm pulling a few more amps. But this log's a little bigger than that last one. Get rid of this stuff. A lot of guys will disengage the blade. I just leave mine running. Back on the 4/4. There we go. I'm going to take about 3 or 4 cuts maybe before I flip this log over. What I'm trying to do is get a good spot for my log clamp. I don't have a very good spot right now. But if we can get into the decent flat side there, we'll just flip this log around. That's one of the tough parts of doing live edge is getting a good clamp on it. Without really destroying the look of the live edge. And you can do that too. try to keep my roller fairly close. That helps keep the blade straight, running through. Just a clear thread there. I like to ease into the log. A lot of times I cut the end of the log off, cut an inch off the end, because what will happen is as that log's sitting around, that'll get harder to rock, and that initial bite into the log is kind of hard on your blade. And sometimes it seems like, to me, it puts a vibration in it right there at the beginning, and I don't like the look of that. So I kind of ease into it, but most of the time I'll cut the end of the log off. So fresh meat get into. Set myself up for my next cut after I flip the log over. I'll have to move them boards back. I'll just throw them on the loading arms. So we'll be back here in a second. Now we'll just flip that log around to where the side you see up will be down, and then we can hopefully get a better bite on her and saw her clear through. I can take Fred off because I don't really need to bite it too hard, because I'll have a nice square side to work on. I try to put my clamp as low as possible. That way I don't have to stop in the middle of a cut and then lower my clamp. I do see some guys when they flip their log and they're fixing to do the final cuts, their clamp's up high. It's like, well, you're gonna have to stop in between and lower your clamp. So when you're ready to saw, you just clamp at the bottom. You don't have to fool with it later. So let's finish this baby off. Yeah, I'm definitely pulling more amp, so I think after this log is time to put on a freshly sharpened blade. Going for my last cut. I don't have to readjust my clamp or anything. I can just sails right past the plant. There we go. Another one bites dust. There was only a dozen of these. I call them peckerfuls. But that'll make some nice craft wood for him. Cherry, to me, is a real easy wood to work with. And it looks good. Takes finishes real well. So after it's dry, he'll have plenty of wood to work with. I'll walk you over here, show you how nice that cherry really is. Some pretty stuff. Might have a knot or two in it, but it works out really good for the customer. Being it's spring, see that fly? I don't know if you can see him. But boy, as soon as it warms up a little bit, this place will be covered in flies. They're after the moisture that's in this wood. There. How you like that? That'll be all pretty when it's sanded and finished. A little bit of bark inclusion there. A guy could make a little serving tray or something out of it. It's real. Actually kind of cool looking. Well, that's some of it already. I've just been putting it on pallets, stacking it, and then I'll just strap it to the pallet. That way it transports well. The guy will be able to put it up in his barn and he'll be ready to go after a while. Well, till next time. There's some slabs that need to be flattened over there. Got to finish filling the kiln with this stuff. So, yeah, till next time, have a good one. Maybe the next one will have something a little different if I can get somebody to agree to letting me do a little filming. So, have a good one.